So thanks
Oh,
so much.
no, no problem. And, again, thank you for having me here to have this check-in with you guys. I think already some of you know that I'm Mexican, but I'm living currently and temporarily, I will say, in the United States in Portland, Oregon. So here I work as a mental health therapist. I'm a bilingual mental health therapist, actually, from a nonprofit. And I used to be a therapist in private practice, like all the years that I worked in Mexico before I moved here. So I got all my family there, my parents, my best friends. So I'm still tied to my country and I love my country and proud of my country. So I'm talk to you guys about some of the things that have been happening for this couple of months. For example, there was a recent in August, there was a new peak in cases, in COVID cases. And I think this is something that we're seeing in different places in the world. And vaccination, it's in process. I've heard and I've seen that some people it's getting vaccines, but I also seen and hear from people that feels a little scared or like reluctant about the vaccine. But I think that's very common in different places as well. So there's only 25 million people in Mexico from our the total of the population was, I think it was 127 or something in 2019. So we only have around 27.8% of the population fully vaccinated. So as you can see, this is a work in progress in Mexico, right? And services and businesses, like even entertainment, they continue working with some restrictions. The social distancing, the masking, this is something that's still going on. And people are still working in both like both modalities. People still working, some people from home office and some people are actually doing in person, depending of course on the kind of job that they're doing. In my case, for example, here I'm doing hybrid, so I'm meeting with some clients in person and I'm doing most of my clients still virtual. I will say that, recently we got some different cities of Mexico were impacted by hurricanes. So that was another thing, that, many people were without lights and without water for some days, but thankfully I heard that things are also getting better about that. And let's see, sorry, I got my notes here. That's why I'm also looking, looking down. Oh, okay. And I will say that the most important situation, that it's maybe connected to the kind of work that we do, is that kids are actually going back in person. They are going back to school in person, but they were also offered the modality to do hybrid, so they can stay home or they can go to school. And what I've seen is that this situation is actually showing the inequalities that actually exist in our country. We have parents that really need to go to work and have no choice, and they need to take the kids to school, right? Or I also met with parents that, for example, they don't have the money to buy like a new laptop or a tablet, so they cannot have the equipment for their kids to be at home, like doing homeschooling, and they need to go to school. So, this situation, it's showing the inequalities that we do have, which is so sad, I think. So many people has no choice, and kids are going back to school in person. And this whole thing is actually creating a general sense of frustration in teachers, because they are, they are being forced. I think this is, the most proper word for this. They are being forced to go back to the classrooms. They are fully vaccinated, but for example, they're and I'm saying this because I have several friends from different areas of Mexico that are teachers, and they have said, for example, that if a kid goes to the classroom and they have COVID, the kid will need to quarantine, but the teacher will continue to go, to go to teach classes. And, of course, they are feeling so frustrated. I have a couple of friends that are saying that are feeling, their anxiety picking up because of this whole situation. So, this is a really hard situation, I will say, that will, I'm assuming, of course, that it will be impacting the kids and, of course, the teachers' mental health. And well, therapists in this case, yeah, they also continue working both in person and virtual. and people are still requiring mental health services. Like, it's still really high. The need, sorry, the need is really high still. And yeah, I think that's about it. I will say that I was kind of like the summary of all the things that were happening for these past 2 months.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's so helpful to know. And what strikes me, the more calls, this is call number 22, is how from any country they might have had a similar thought that a similar sort of set of themes and dynamics that you're also presenting. And it's so valuable, though, to hear from it and validating that we're sort of in this together. So thank you for presenting that.